We had to pay everybody to come.
Hang on a second. Let's
Yeah,
let
right.
Mower get out of, I want Mower to get away so we don't have the background noise.
I can eat, yeah.
So, thank you everyone for coming today. We're out here to celebrate Gary Barkman's 80th birthday. Officially an old fart.
I was an old fart a long time ago.
Well, yeah, he was.
Can you have him turn around?
Yeah, you want to turn around, please, because I
Yeah.
want to look at your face. On this special day, we're here to honor the service of a man who truly embodies what it means to be a Marine. But if you ask him, he'll probably say he was just doing his job. Back in 1963, when most 17-year-olds were focused on high school graduation or what car they were going to drive, Gary took a different path. He joined the United States Marine Corps. He was only 17, so his dad had to sign for him to enlist. He survived basic training at Parris Island, and then he went on to advanced training at Camp Lejeune, and eventually made his way out to Camp Pendleton in California, where he trained as a radio operator. From there, he was sent straight to Vietnam. In March of 1965, Gary was among the first Marines to hit the beach at Da Nang. He was with the 3rd Battalion, 9th Marines. So I Googled it, okay? And the 9th Marine Brigade their deployment was a turning point in the war because they were the first official U.S. combat troops on the ground in Vietnam. They were also the very last ones to use those specific boats that they landed on, and Gary told me all about it. I think they were called Mike boats. That's what I found. Okay, so Mike boats were these massive, heavy-duty steel
Made out of
boats.
plywood.
And the surf conditions, I looked it up, you guys. The surf conditions on the day that they landed were just really awful. 6-foot waves, right? And Gary was telling me about how the boats were coming in and they were getting just tossed all over the place and coming in sideways like this, you know, and finally crashed onto the beach. And in his words, he said they crashed heavily and it was filled with a bunch of Green Marines with their weapons locked and loaded, and they get off to yells of friendly beach, friendly beach. But of course they didn't know it could be anybody yelling that. So he endured a 13-month grueling tour in Vietnam, where he was assigned as a radio operator to a mortar squad. And that was a job where you were always carrying your target on your back, and your job was to keep your guys safe when everything else goes sideways. He finally wrapped up that first tour, and he made it back home to the United States. I should have this out this way so you all can see this 17-year-old. Thank you. Thank you. I made it back to the U.S., and his service was not done. He was back in the U.S. for 6 months and 20 days before he was sent right back to Vietnam a second time. During that time when he was in the States, he told me about a time where he was in training. They pulled in all the Marines that were getting ready to get sent out to Vietnam, and they put them through a training session. And he said they were in this big room with all these guys, and they start showing a training video, and it was a video of the Marines in action on the ground in Vietnam. And he said they went, "That's us! Look, there's so-and-so!" Turns out most of them had already been there and were being sent back.
Wow.
He told me about when the training was finished, they went back to Vietnam. Think about that for a second. 2 full terms surviving stretches of a war where you were not guaranteed tomorrow. 2 full terms. He was promoted multiple times. He ultimately achieved the rank of E5 Sergeant. And when he finally returned home for good, the Marines put him in shore party for his final 6 months. Now, shore party is a designation for the very first men that hit the beaches. They were sitting targets for enemy artillery. The life expectancy of shore party was about 30 seconds. I looked this up. This is absolutely true. Gary's job was to train the next generation of men who would serve as shore party in Nam. And when his enlistment was finally over, it came to an end in 1967, the Marine Corps did not want to lose this man. They tried to get him to re-up for another 4 or 6 years, and they offered him $10,000. According to Google, $10,000 in 1967 is worth almost $100,000 today. A ton of money. They also offered him a promotion, and they said he could change from radio operator to anything he wanted to do and have his choice of duty station for 2 years. So he could do whatever he wanted. He could be wherever he wanted with a boatload of money in his pocket for 2 full years. And so he said, "Sir, what about after those 2 years?" And they said, "Well, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen." And he said, "Well, I do." He said, "I got up this morning and I looked in my crystal ball and I saw that after 2 years, you're going to send my rear end back to Vietnam. So thank you, but no thank you." So, the servicemen who returned from Vietnam, they weren't not given a hero's welcome. In fact, they were met with hostility. They were called names. They were taunted, called terrible things. And I asked Gary, and yes, he did experience those things when he returned. And I think that's a tragedy, because Gary Barkman earned the right to hold up his head. He served faithfully. So this plaque that we are unveiling today isn't just a piece of metal. It's a reminder of a 17-year-old kid who grew up overnight, a 2-time combat veteran who looked danger in the eye for 26 months. And then he spent his final days in uniform training the guys who were going to come after him so they had a fighting chance when they got over there. So on this day, which is the day he turns 80 years old, I'd like to say to my dad, thank you for your service and your sacrifice and for showing us what courage really means.
And welcome home.
Semper Fi!
Yeah.
Wait a minute, look here, and then you can tell us. I love this.
Woohoo!
Woo! Here we go.
Yay!
What didn't I tell?
You didn't tell the reason why I wound up going in the Marine.
Well, no, I'll let you tell that one.
Well, I grew up in Harrisburg, and the judge over there, Johnny James at the time, he was owned a corner drugstore and a few other things there in town, and he was also, at that time, they appointed judges. And he was appointed. He met me on the street corner and he said, "Derry, I hear that your buddies have going in the Marine Corps." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well," he says, "you've never been before me, but it's just a matter of time." Because I was the hoodlum that ran around over there. And he said, "If I was you, I'd go see if I could go in the Marine Corps." Well, I listened to him. First time I listened to somebody. And I went in the Marines. That's how I got there.
I had no idea what you were in for at that point, did you?
No.
Are we singing happy birthday?
Well, yeah, let's sing happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday